There was a time in my life when I felt like I was taking 2 steps forward in my faith, only to take 3 steps back. I wanted so badly to live in the freedom Christ gives, but the pull of my old habits, my past, and my weaknesses felt overwhelming. Maybe you felt this too. Like no matter how far you've come, sin keeps calling you back, tempting you to turn back to the very things God set you free from. One of the hardest things I've ever experienced is watching someone I care about slip back into destructive patterns. It's heartbreaking to see someone return to the very thing they prayed to escape. And if I'm honest, I've been that person too, struggling with my own weaknesses and fighting to not turn back to the things God rescued me from. The truth is, sin is relentless. Satan doesn't sit back quietly while we gain victory. He loves to exploit our weaknesses. He whispers lies into our thoughts, pulls at our emotions, and tries to convince us that life was better when we were enslaved to sin. He wants us to forget how far God has brought us. But here's the good news. We are not alone in this battle. God knows us intimately and personally, and that truth changes everything. In Galatians chapter 4, Paul asks a tough but important question. Why are you turning back to those weak and miserable forces? Do you wish to be enslaved by them all over again? When I first read those words, it hit me hard. I realized how easy it is to fall back into old ways, to let discouragement or temptation lead us astray. But Paul also reminds us of something powerful. We are known by God. Think about that for a moment. The Creator of the universe knows you. He pursued you. He adopted you as his child. And because of that, you don't have to live in chains anymore. You're free, truly free. When I feel the pull to turn back, I hold on to a few key truths. Remember who you are in Christ. When you're tempted to go back to your old ways, remind yourself of who you are now. You are a child of God, redeemed and loved. You're no longer a slave to sin. You're free, and freedom in Christ is worth fighting for. Acknowledge the struggle, but lean into grace. Even Paul struggled with his sin nature, but he didn't let it defeat him. He leaned on God's grace and power to overcome. When I mess up, I remind myself that God's grace is bigger than my failures. Stay close to God through prayer and His Word. The enemy loves to attack when we're spiritually weak. That's why I've learned to stay connected to God, even when I don't feel strong. His Word reminds me of His promises, and prayer helps me draw strength from Him daily. Don't fight alone. I've learned that community is key. When I've been weak, my Christian friends and mentors have helped me stay accountable and encouraged me to keep going. Don't isolate yourself. Surround yourself with people who will lift you up. If you're struggling today, I want to encourage you. Don't turn back. Yes, the fight against sin is hard, but the freedom Christ offers is worth it. You don't have to do this alone. God is with you, and He's already won the ultimate victory over sin and death. And if you've been watching someone you love turn back to sin, keep praying for them. Keep believing that God can restore them, just as He's restored you. You are known by God. Let that truth give you the strength to keep moving forward. Don't give up. Don't turn back. And don't forget that in Christ, you are already victorious. Let me know in the comments if you're wrestling with something and need prayer. We're in this together, and I'd love to pray for you.